Hello everybody, this is the Enigma, and today we'll be covering every single achievement in Rage 2. Now, True Achievements puts this game at 25 to 30 hours, and I personally completed it in about 25. There are no online achievements and no missable achievements throughout the campaign. And don't forget to check out the description and hit Ctrl+F to find any specific achievements you might be looking for. With all that said, let's move right into the achievements. First thing to address, there are 8 story-related achievements. There will be 1 for completing the tutorial mission in the beginning, 2 mission achievements for each of the 3 faction leaders, and an achievement for the final mission. It's also worth mentioning that you can still move freely in the open world after beating the game. Now let's get all of the achievements dealing with individual weapons, starting with efficiency. This one is pretty simple and can be accomplished before you've even finished the tutorial section. Basically, just go for headshots and shoot very sparingly. And if you have the same issue as I do of habitually reloading, just, don't do that. If this does prove to be difficult, wait until you have 250 Feltrite and a weapon core mod, and you can upgrade the ammo capacity of your assault rifle to 52 rounds instead of 35. Also, utilizing overdrive will make each bullet more powerful. Now for unloaded, this is easily the most straightforward achievement in the game. As soon as you get the assault rifle, just hold down the trigger for 2 full clips, and you'll have this achievement. For Skeet Shooting, you need to hit an airborne enemy with the shotgun slug shot. You can find the shotgun in the arc you come across during the first story mission in Gun Barrel. Now, despite definitely being in the air while jumping around, this doesn't seem possible with mutants when they run. The quickest way I thought up is to use the nanotrite push ability on an enemy and immediately aim and fire. The aim assist will keep you on target, and the push ability is acquired very early on as it's directly on the way to Gun Barrel from the Vineland base. Moving on to Hyper Express, which is to kill 2 enemies with 1 hypercannon shot. You can find the hypercannon in the Greenhaven Arc in the wilds. There are a couple ways you can do this. One is to find a muty nest and run in a straight line, turn around, jump over everyone chasing you, and repeat a couple times. Once they're lined up, charge up a shot and fire. It can be difficult to kill 2 this way, but given a few attempts, you can accomplish it. The other way requires a little prep work. You'll need to get your hypercannon to max level and have 7 weapon core mods to unlock the bottom level 3 upgrade and the level 4 upgrade. These will make it so your shots charge much faster, and on a shot's contact, it will explode. Once you've got these unlocked, either go to a muty den or Mutant Bash TV, group up some muties, charge up a shot, and fire. This one will work much more reliably. Postmodern Picasso has you kill 200 enemies with the rocket launcher. The rocket launcher can be found at the Strongbox Arc in the Torn Plains. This achievement doesn't really have any secret tricks to it other than to utilize mutiness and Mutant Bash TV on account of the fact that muties tend to pile up, especially in the den. You can get to the 200 kill requirement pretty quickly with these 2 location types. The next few achievements we'll be dealing with are all of the ones that have to do with driving, jumping, shooting, and destroying vehicles. And the first one is over 9,000, which is to drive over 9,000 meters. This will happen naturally with all of the driving it takes to make it to Gun Barrel, Wellspring, and Laguna. Next, Hang Time has you jump over 100 meters with a ground vehicle. Fortunately, there's a super convenient spot for this. Go to the Chazcar racetrack, which you'll do anyway during the Wasteland Celebrity mission, and start a race. As soon as you're loaded into the race, go off the first ramp at full speed with boost, and you'll get this achievement guaranteed. And while you're at the racetrack, complete the race in 3 minutes and 3 seconds to get Acid House. Most of what goes into this achievement is practice, as there is very little room for error to have a successful run. There are only 2 tips I can really suggest. The first is to find the sweet spot with the E-brake. Holding the brake for more than a couple seconds will have you fishtail, so you'll have to play with the timing of braking to get the best drifts. And the second is the route to take, which is what will play out now. You don't necessarily need to run this route, but I found it to have the best flow. With all that said, I'll shut up and let you watch. On the Limit has you maintain top speed with the Raptor for 10 seconds, which can be quite difficult because it can't turn almost at all once it gains speed. For the purpose of this achievement, there is a straightaway heading southbound towards the bandit camp. Keep on the boost as much as possible during this, and the achievement is yours. Now for the achievement Dozing, you need to scoop up an enemy with the dumper truck. In the achievement description it says wheel dozer, but there is no vehicle in the game called that, so they mean the dumper truck. You can find one of these in the Secreto wetlands, right outside the Monster Bash TV location. When looking at the Mutant Bash entrance, turn right and run down the path for a little bit. The dumper truck will be at the end of this path. Once you have it, drive around for a while until you find an enemy. Slowly drive up to them and press LB while the front is lowered to raise it. It may take some time to find a flat enough surface to get it under the enemy you're trying to lift, but otherwise it's a very easy achievement. Moving on to Goon Fire, you just have to kill a goon with the goon tank Booma. There is a very convenient spot a ways east of Wellspring. It's a bandit den called Vandal Villas. And as soon as you arrive at it, there's a Booma sitting right out front just outside of the den. Just get inside, turn towards the den, and kill one goon. If you already cleared the den like I did, no problem, just drive around until you find a goon, either in dens or pit stops. Now let's get a couple that involve tracking down convoys. The first is Gonevoy, which needs you to take down one convoy leader. You can reveal convoys on the map by unlocking the skill in the top left of the Capture and Control Project skill tree. Simply track one down and destroy the big vehicle in front. You don't need any vehicle upgrades to accomplish this, but the blast upgrade can be very useful because it gets rid of shields and temporarily reveals the vehicle's weak spots. Extra vehicle health is always useful too. The other is Off Balance, which has you knock 19 bikers off their bikes with the Phoenix's dodge ability. Despite how the description makes it sound, turning their bike into a smoldering pile of wreckage with the dodge ability is acceptable as well. There are always 3 bikes with every convoy across the map, unless one managed to get lost somehow. With that in mind, it should only take 7 different convoys to get the appropriate amount of bikes destroyed. Don't forget about the skill that reveals convoys on the map. It can be found on the top left of the Capture and Control Project skill tree. Crushed has you kill an Abaddon Mutant Crusher with the Phoenix. From what I've been able to gather, there are a few locations in the Broken Tract and Torn Plains that they can randomly spawn at. The only rules for their spawns seem to be on a larger flat piece of land next to a sheer cliff face. The one I found was just south of Chazcar Racetrack, and once you found the Crusher, just blast him. You can bring down his health however you want, as long as the last hit comes from the Phoenix. I tested out doing all the damage in the Phoenix, and if you're going to do it, I definitely recommend the guided missiles or the mortars. They drop his health very quickly. The last vehicle achievement is the big one, Bytesize Takedown, which requires you to destroy 128 vehicles while driving the Phoenix. If you've already gotten the achievement Off Balance and destroyed the entire convoy each time, then you should be a fair way into this achievement, but there's a much more efficient way to finish up the vehicle kill. There's a bandit den directly east of Gun Barrel called Underpass. There are 4 vehicles parked here. Destroy all of them, save your game, and then load that save. It will load you back in, sitting in the Phoenix right outside the den. After clearing all the vehicles from the other achievement, it only took me 20 to 30 minutes to get this one done. Now we'll be moving on to all the regular killing achievements. The first is the enemy of my enemy, which has you kill an enemy that is trying to kill an enemy. There are several small skirmishes throughout the Wasteland between 2 enemy factions. Basically, if you ever roll up somewhere and there's already gunfire, shoot someone and you will get this achievement. Next is Peekaboo, which is killing a shrouded enemy while they're cloaked. The shrouded are the techie gentlemen who are in yellow outfits. They can be found most prominently in the desert area at the bottom left of the map and are in every repowering station. The most straightforward way is to wait until one goes invisible and shoot them with a rocket launcher. If you don't have a rocket launcher, wait till they're invisible and then shoot around center mass with the assault rifle. Their armor may complicate this a little, but it should still be accomplished rather quickly. After that one is Hot Potato. Technically, you don't have to kill anyone with this achievement, just reflect the grenade. But where else was I supposed to put it? In the Kill and Destroy Project skill tree, there is a set of skills on the far right for being able to melee grenades back. As far as I can gather, you only need the first skill to get this achievement, but the others make it much easier. With only the first skill, you'd have to melee a grenade out of the air to deflect it, but with the next upgrade, you can melee a grenade that's sitting on the ground, which is way more easily done. Past that, the enemies in this game throw grenades like crazy, especially Goon, so you'll find no shortage of opportunities to hit them back. Now let's move on to killing something a little bigger, with The Bigger They Are, which has you kill 7 Abaddon Mutant Crushers. There are 5 Crusher Nest locations that will all play out while I continue talking. Out of these 5 Crusher Nests, the one furthest north actually has 2 Crushers at it, making the total count 6. There's also a Crusher that you kill in the main storyline, but if for whatever reason all of these don't get you the achievement, remember the crushers I mentioned in the Crushed achievement, which has a few random spawn locations in the flat areas of Torn Plains and Broken Tract. Moving on to Zipper, which has you kill 13 enemies while riding zip lines. The cool thing about this achievement is that you don't actually have to shoot them while on the zip line, they just have to die while you're on the zip line. Because of that, grenades and wing sticks are instrumental in getting this achievement done. There is a location with the longest zip line I could find called Hardtop. It's northeast of the Vineland base and one of the closest locations to it. Once there, just try and kill as many people as possible on the zipline. If you're down to one enemy and haven't gotten this achievement yet, save the game and reload the save, which will respawn all of the enemies while also maintaining your progress on this achievement. The order of weapons I would suggest is grenades and wing sticks until you're out, then either the assault rifle while you're on the zipline or using the rocket launcher's lock-on function as the rockets hang in the air for a moment before launching. 13 kills in, and Zipper is yours. Now we'll be moving on to all of the overdrive and equipment-based kills, starting with Overly Driven, which has you get an overdrive multiplier of 10. The only prep work required for this is the second skill in the basic project skill tree, which will raise the possible overdrive multiplier to 10. From there, this achievement gets easier and easier the further into the game you are, as it only really entails killing 10 enemies within about 5 seconds of each other. The easiest way to do this is to find any mutiny nest, let them pile up, and kill them all. The most satisfying way to do that is with the slam ability, which will actually help with the next achievement. Come on and slam. You'll need to kill 50 enemies using the slam ability. The slam ability can be found at the Earth Scar Arc location east of Westspring. Once you get it, just start slamming folks. Of course, upgrading it will make it more effective, and I would recommend the Singularity ability that pulls enemies under you while charging the slam. And, again, the best places to kill efficiently are Mutiny Nests and Mutant Bash TV. The next achievement, This Is Rage, has you kill 10 enemies with the Dash Strike Kick. The dash ability is unlocked in the arc you open during the tutorial mission of the game. It has a skill in its Nanotrite ability tree that makes it to where if you melee at the end of a forward dash, you will do a kick. You can do this dash kick every 3 seconds, or 2 if you've gotten that upgrade as well, so this should be a shoo-in. After that, we have Pseudo Post-Mortem, which needs you to kill 3 enemies within 10 seconds after restoring all health with the defibrillation. The defibrillation ability can be found at the Canyon Cove arc location, and once you have it, you'll need to get it to level 4 using about 3,500 Feltrite and get the skills in that tree that allow for a 3rd and 4th shock. From there, run into a group of people, let them kill you, then successfully hit all 4 of the button prompts. If you're up with 100% health after, simply kill 3 of the enemies with the rocket launcher or a slam, and this achievement is yours. Explosive Ending requires you to kill an enemy with the explosion from a turret drone. If you'll notice, when you throw a drone and then shoot it, it puffs into sparks and that's it. You'll actually need to get it to max level by running around shops and buying all of the upgrades for it. One can be found at the Traveling Merchant, which you can simply find by driving around for a little while. If you do have trouble finding him, there is a skill in the bottom left of Capture and Control that makes him appear more often. Another is at the shop in Oasis.
Standby mode initiated.
Don't be alarmed. I've got some real rare goods for sale.
A third is in the Laguni Supply Shop.
You buying or selling? A returning customer. Even better.
And the fourth and final upgrade is in the Supplies Shop in Dreadwood.
How you doing? Market's open for bid. Buying or selling?
Once all of that is collected, simply find some enemies, throw a drone at them, and shoot the drone. If you have issues with them kicking or throwing your drones away, use the Vortex ability to hold them in place before throwing the drone out. The anti-grav upgrades for the Vortex can make this even more useful. Now, for Off With Their Heads, which has you headshot 100 enemies with the wing stick. You could do this the old-fashioned way, but there are a couple things that can speed up this whole process. Go to Gorilla Gear in Wellspring and buy the wing stick upgrade, which will let you craft wing sticks in the field. And while you're in town, if you have the extra money, max out your mechanical and electronic components to greatly minimize the amount of times you'll need to go in town to restock. At the far right of the Capture and Control Project skill tree, there's a wing stick tree. Unlock the first skill and the one connected to it to lock onto enemies with a faster target acquisition. Now, when you first lock onto enemies with this, it will lock onto the chest, but pointing the camera upwards will shift the lock to the head. The only other thing to note is that the Shrouded have helmets that can't be broken off, so you can't get headshot kills with them. Otherwise, 100 kills later, and this one is yours. And now we finally arrived at the big kill achievement, Goon de-leet. Now, Goons are not just any bandit faction, they're the ones that have the crazy blue or pink hair and occupy all of the pit stops. They've got that whole biker gang thing going on. And 1,337 goons cannot be killed naturally in one playthrough, even if you clear the entire map. So what you'll want to do is pick a spot, most likely a goon den or pit stop with a lot of goons. Try to find a low-level spot to avoid armor types. And once you've killed everyone you want to, save your game and reload that save. You'll be right outside your location and everyone will have respawned. However, if you complete the objective of the place, enemies will no longer spawn there. Because of that, a pit stop is probably better than a goon den because a goon den's objective is to kill all of them. With the pit stop I picked, I got almost 500 kills in about 45 minutes, and it's the boombox location a decent amount north of the Chazcar racetrack. If you start this from 0 kills, it should take around 2 hours, maybe less depending on how good your spot is. And honestly, this one was a lot of fun to farm. You feel pretty cool once you've got your path laid out. Finally, we're moving on to the last set of achievements, which is all the exploration and collectibles achievements. The first is a Know-A-Lot, which has you open 5 arcs. It's honestly incredibly easy. You open 1 during the tutorial sequence, and after finishing the tutorial, there will be 3 on the map on the way to Gun Barrel. And once you get to Gun Barrel and start the story mission there's a 5th arc during that mission. And that's all 5. Now, for the 4 Ecopod achievements, in the Broken Tract, Dune Sea, Secreto Wetlands, and the Wilds. All 4 of the locations will play out now, and I will see you on the other side.
Combat. Destination reached. Standby mode initiated.
Next, Wasteland Vagabond has you visit all 5 of the Trade Coalition settlements. There is Gun Barrel and Broken Tract, Wellspring and the Torn Plains, Laguni in the Secreto wetlands, Oasis in the Dune Sea, and Dreadwood in the wilds. After that, Can't Stop Pop has you pop 17 of the Mutant Bash TV balloons. There honestly isn't much of a strategy here, as the balloons seem to spawn randomly. That said though, they only seem to spawn at the Torn Plains or Broken Track, and they are very easy to spot once they do spawn. Just keep an eye out for them throughout your playthrough, and that's going to be one more achievement done. And finally, it's time for the big one. It's Matahari Manors, which needs you to destroy 30 spy drones. As you may have heard, this achievement is terrible because of how ridiculously random it is. For that reason, unfortunately, this won't be a collectibles guide, but more of a tips and tricks video. Now, while they do spawn randomly, there are a few rules they seem to need to adhere to. One is they have to be at a location. They can't just randomly be somewhere in the wasteland. They will never be inside a building or underground. And based on my playthrough, they can't spawn at trade towns, Mutant Bash TV, the Chazcar racetrack, authority sentries, bounty locations, or Feltrite meteor. But they can appear anywhere else, even the locations of interest with the white icon on the map. Now, here's a couple things that should help you find these drones. First and foremost, they make a pulsating noise when you get close to them that sounds like this. If you look at them for a couple seconds, they will fly away. For that reason, I would suggest using the rocket launcher so nothing is left to chance. But if they do still manage to fly off, save your game immediately and load that save. This will load you in right in front of whatever place you found the drone at, and it will be right back where it was before it left. There is also a skill in the Search and Recovery project tree that will show a signal tracker that hones in on spy drones from much further away than their sound cue can be heard. You will have to also unlock the signal tracker skills for data pads and storage containers before you can get the drone skill, and all of these will be shown through the same proximity meter. For this reason, I wouldn't suggest getting the Feltrite sensor skill because Feltrite is often on walls and has a blue glow, so it can get your hopes up very often. Plus, it's one more signal to track, which slows down the whole process. The last thing is that the Icarus is absolutely instrumental in speeding up the process of tracking down these drones. You unlock this by getting Dr. Cavassier to level 7, which you can accomplish by doing Fallen Rangers, Arcs, Feltrite Meteors, and data pads. This one took me about 5 hours after I finished every other achievement, so be ready for a bit of a grind here. Once that's done, and assuming you've been following along throughout this video, you'll also get the final achievement, Post-Apocalyptic Poster Child. And with that out of the way, you will have finally completed Rage 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoy making these full guide videos, and if this one was at all helpful to you, consider liking and subscribing. And if you have any questions or issues, feel free to put them in the comment section below. Also, if you're curious about other ways to support these videos, consider supporting me on Patreon. It can help me spend more time on this to get these videos out faster. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.